So part 2 of the video that we started, we calculated everything that we needed to know. So now let's make our cash flow. Okay, let me just okay, so cash flow statement. So now I'll be abbreviating some of the things because of my space, but you should know that what I'll be saying is what you follow. So the first thing that we said is the operating activity. So cash flow, so just write CF, cash flow from operating activities. Then we have a K and K. Now here we need to calculate our profit. You must write this in full when answering a question. Profit before interest and tax. Let's go to our question. You find out that there is no interest and tax in this question, so this net profit becomes our profit before interest and tax, and this was 250. So we're going to place 250. Where am I placing it? In the first column. Okay, so we have adjustments. By the way, let me just clarify something here. Okay. This part here, let me just rewrite that part. Okay, cash flow from operating activity. Don't underline that word. Okay, just leave it like that. So profit before tax is 250. Now let us look at adjustments. So the first adjustment is depreciation, and our depreciation in this question, if you check very well, was let's go into the question. Our depreciation was actually 255. 255. This depreciation has to be added back because we had subtracted it in the profit or loss. We have to add back. Then loss, remember it's an expense, and our loss on disposal, we had calculated that it as 30 here, so we're now getting the values that we're calculating. Then just add it back there as 30, and we don't have anything else that we can adjust. So because of that, let's calculate this. We have 250 plus 255 plus 30. We have, so go to the next page. So just a continuation. We have 5. We still put this into our first column, 535, and this is called cash inflow from operating activities before working capital. Cash inflow from operating activities before working capital. That's what you write there. Now you write working capital. I said I'll be abbreviating because of space. Now your working capital in the question, you have to check. There are only 3 things that goes under working capital. You have inventory, receivables, and payables. So let's start with that. Now remember, we've said these balances are your opening balances, and these balances are your closing balances. So now from your opening to your closing, let's start with inventory. You'd find out that our opening was 825 and our closing was 1175. Was there an increase or decrease in inventory? You find out that there was an increase. So because there was an increase of 1825, you just find the difference between the two, an increase of 350. This increase, remember, the cash flow deals with the outflow and an inflow of cash. So because what happened is that we're buying more inventory. Because we're buying more inventory, we're losing out cash in our business. So because of that, this will appear as a negative figure because we're giving out cash to buy inventory. So increase, let me just repeat that. Increase in inventory. as 350 as a negative figure. Why? It's because our inventory was increasing. People are not buying, but what we kept on buying our inventory. Because of that, it's a negative figure. Let's go to receivables. Now on our receivables part, you see that our opening was 5200 and our closing was 506. There was a decrease in inventory, so this will become a positive. Why? It's because people who are owing us money have now paid us. That's the reason why it has decreased from 5,200 to 5065. So because of that, we're going to include it as a positive figure in our cash flow statement, as so a decrease in receivables 135. So let's check on payables now. Under payables, okay, under payables, if you check, our opening balance was 5075 and the closing was 4430. So there was a decrease